It will then say end stream at the top, and we are live. Now, we're currently live on Nathan's YouTube, but if I show you WisePub, we're not live on WisePub because I haven't set WisePub live. YouTube goes live automatically because YouTube's platform is set to do that. WisePub does not. So we'll set WisePub live in a second. Well, I'll just do it now. Let's see. Yeah. So the way we set WisePub live, and I'm going to send you like a written SOP on this. I'm going to send you these steps. But the way we set WisePub live is you'll notice there are two gear icons. This one is for the chat area. This one is for the overall WisePub platform. So we're going to click on this one, and we're just going to click start the stream. And once we do that and confirm it, once we do that, I always have mine set to muted, so it tells me I'm muted. And you're going to want to make sure you always have yours set to muted. Otherwise, you'll hear yourself and you'll hear what's going on.
We have the overtalk here.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you're muted by having this icon down here. This speaker button is the mute button. If I were to undo that, I'd hear myself echoing around through StreamYard to WisePub to StreamYard to WisePub. So this is how we go live. We're now live in WisePub as well as in YouTube.
I just have a question. I might have missed it. Are you just currently sharing your screen? Is that what we're seeing in StreamYard? Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So now if you want to see what's actually in StreamYard, the URL to do that is...
David, can I ask you why I'm getting a lot of echo?
Do you? I don't know.
Raleigh, probably. Have you muted the Markets PG live stream?
Oh, yeah. It's probably the one that we opened as an attendee.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's why David's saying you'll always want to mute that or else you'll hear yourself.
Yeah, I heard that like mute. We're good.
Yeah. So you should see the actual, you should basically see like my little Firefox thing on, if you were viewing the live one, you would see my Firefox thing. So the URL for the live one, this is not the URL we're going to give out to the world, but the URL for the live one is this live.marketspg.com/room/marketspg. It's the same thing as what we see, as the admin. It's the same thing as we see as the admin, except they won't be logged in as an admin, so they'll see the attendee version. But it's the same URL. I'll create short links that are just like marketspg.com/pro live and TTP live or MPG live to give out to people, so it won't be quite as long as this. But yeah, it's the same URL that we see when we're doing this. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Well, no, if I do that, it's a little tough. Okay. Let's do this. Let me remove this for a second. It's just the inception that's a little nuts here. Hold on. I'm going to share. You need to be. Yeah, this is tough. Okay, so I wonder if in the future I should do this on Zoom so I can share the screen without inception. All right, you're just gonna have to ignore the inception. All right, let me put this back up. Okay, so inside all right. So inside WisePub, this is what basically everybody else sees as well. We just have some extra controls and stuff at the top. And again, I'll send you the procedure for this or whatever, but just to give you some orientation here, you might see it like this with a fat green column on the left. You can click the little hamburger button and shrink it to give yourself a little more screen real estate. This column on the right is the chat. You can pop the chat out. If you want to put the chat in a separate window, you can pop the chat out. And actually, when we give like presenters who are going to come on as guests, we're going to give them the StreamYard link to come on as a guest in StreamYard and present. We're just going to give them this little floating chat window because they don't need to see WisePub. Like if they're just coming on as a guest, they don't need to see WisePub. Whoops, I keep clicking shit. They just need to chat. So we're just going to give them this little chat window. But as an admin, you want to see and make sure that what you think you're screen sharing, you're actually screen sharing and all that. So you're going to want this full interface, and you're going to need control.
Hey,
so,
David.
Yeah.
Question: is that chat link always the same on the same room?
Yep.
So, like, Roger example could always just have that one chat link forever.
Yep. He never has to go into WisePub.
Nice.
As long as he has a moderator doing the other controls, he never has to go into WisePub.
So what you're saying here, David, for us is that as moderators, we need to have both WisePub and StreamYard up simultaneously.
Correct.
Okay.
And then Roger would just have StreamYard in his chat panel.
Exactly. That's all he needs. But I'm just thinking about monitors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Now you can flip back and forth. Like, you don't have to be watching them both simultaneously. But it does get a little difficult if you're not.
Yeah. The point is you want to make sure that you've got an eye on what we're actually streaming.
Right. And the other thing is there is a delay between what you're doing live in StreamYard and what shows up in WisePub. So it's hard. If I were only ever watching WisePub, it would be very hard to keep up in the conversation and not sound like an idiot, because you'd be 20 seconds behind on what you're seeing on the screen compared to what they're talking about.
Right.
That's
a good point.
Just a little bit of a buffer time between the StreamYard and the WisePub. However, the chat, when you put something in the chat in WisePub, which we're going to do in a second, you're in WisePub, so that's real time. So when you put something in the chat, they see it immediately. But when you say something or show it on screen in StreamYard, that's 20 seconds delayed. So it takes a little getting used to.
So as a moderator, if we put things into the chat, we have to interface it through WisePub, or we could just use the pop out. And
well, the pop out is the WisePub.
Yeah,
but you don't have to. So that's the same. You don't have to pop it out as the administrator. You don't have to pop it out WisePub. So the way that we keep, because this is a 24/7 room, and we don't want people in here talking to each other and saying things that we don't moderate.
Right.
We keep this chat paused when it's closed. So when you come into the room for the first time, you're going to come in here to the settings. You're going to start the stream like we did a minute ago. And you probably want to unpause the chat so that people can now start typing. And then I usually type, welcome to opening Playbook or whatever. Now, one advantage to this platform over Zoom is that they will see the messages that were there even before they joined. So like in Zoom, when you post a message at 30 minutes before open, hey, we're going to start in 30 minutes. And then somebody comes in 2 minutes later, they don't see that. They don't see anything till you post again 5 or 10 minutes later. Right. Here, we don't have to do that. We can just post, welcome to opening Playbook, and post it, and it's sitting there, and anybody that comes to the room will see it.
Okay.
Now, it's possible if we get 20 people posting messages in here that it's going to scroll out of sight. So what I do is, for my welcome message, to make it clear, let me just make this actually say welcome. I won't type the whole thing. What I do is I pin my welcome message by clicking this little pin, and it will then stay at the top until I unpin it.
Perfect.
So that if 20 people come in and say, good morning, good morning, good morning, and this scrolls by, and as people are typing and this scrolls by, my message stays at the top. Welcome to the thing.
Nice.
David, do you do that like on the first CTA, the first order form link? Do you pin that?
So I pin, yes. So what I do, well, actually, I don't typically pin it. The reason is we've paused the chat at that point, and nobody else can push my message up.
Got it.
Because when we go to promo, we pause the chat.
Got it.
So I don't have to.
I didn't understand what you meant by that when you said that.
No, you won't. I'll get there in a second. There in a second. Right. And I said this was going to be a 45-minute training, but I'm realizing now there's no way I'm going to cover it all in the next 4 minutes. All right. So this is the chat. We normally unpause the chat and let people type. Now, this is a group chat. This is the same as if you set Zoom to everybody can chat to everybody, and they all did it. This is not a private chat. There is a separate tab up here at the top of the chat for private chats. So if I log in as myself as an attendee in a different window that you're not seeing right now. And I go, hey, Dave, my social security number is this, everybody's going to see it. What I can do is, as an attendee or as a moderator, I can hover over somebody's message, and I can click on this little double speech bubble icon and send them a private message. And then this is private, and this appears in this top tab up here, this double speech bubble tab. So I have my group chat on one tab, and I have my private messages in another tab. And it threads these. So all my messages to Joe Blow are going to be threaded right here. And then if somebody else private messages me, there's going to be one tab for their private messages, and then another one for somebody else's private messages. So all the conversations are threaded, which is a hell of a lot more easier than Zoom, where you don't even know which message 40 messages back somebody's referring to, or you have to scroll all the way back up to find somebody's last post or whatever, where they were private messaging a question to you, and then click on their name to reply to them or whatever. This threads all the private conversations. So there's one button for each person that you have a private conversation going with, and then their whole private conversation would be here. So in that way, this is a lot easier. In the way that it's not a lot easier is that it's a little harder for people that have never done it before to figure out how to private message you. It's a little, they have to hover over your message and click on this little double speech bubble icon to start a private message. And that takes a little bit of instruction and training.
So David, once again, I'm just thinking a little bit about how I currently use Zoom. Let's say we get to that point where I'm going like, hey, this is a live recording. Please put your email address if you would like me to send you a link. Right. Am I going to be getting 50 different private messages, or could I just make the whole room at that point in time offline? And
you cannot currently make the whole room private.
Okay.
The only way they can send you, but they're actually adding that feature. They're adding a feature so that it will work like Zoom if we want to switch it to that. Okay. But currently, this tab is always public, although you can pause it and prevent them from posting. And this tab is always private. So like Blake just sent me a private message. I clicked it already, but it had like a little red dot at the top to tell me there was a new message.
Okay.
And this is his message. And I don't know if you can tell on the screen share, but it's bold compared to the one that I haven't read. And I can click it and see his message, and I can go, hey, Blake, and whatever. And then I can go back to my list of messages, and it won't be bold anymore. And then you can close out the ones you've handled. So for example, yes, if people private message you, 50 people private message you and say, send me your email address. You say, send me your email address. And 50 people do that. You no longer have to I
don't have to scroll through the chat and pull them out.
Yeah, exactly. So you could literally go in here, grab the message, and then just exit out, and it's gone.
And paste,
and then you handled it, and it's gone. Yeah. So in some ways it might be a little worse. In some ways it might be a little better.
Now from the user's perspective, I guess what they're going to know is, hey, folks, you have two ways to talk to us. Yes. You can either go ahead and do a group chat, or you can send us a private message. You control that.
Correct. Okay. And they control it until we pause the group
one,
and then they don't have a choice.
Right.
Now, what I do when we pause the group one, it's the same thing that we do when we first entered the room to unpause it. We just click this. Now, unfortunately, they don't actually see this message right here. They will just get a message when they go to post that the chat's been paused. Okay. So what I do is, as soon as I pause it, I go in here, and part of my SOP that I'll send you, I have a pre-written text that I copy and paste in here that says, the chat has now been paused. To send me a private message, please hover over this message and click on the double speech bubble icon, and you can send me a private message. So that's what I put there. And that's what I was talking to Josiah about before, is when we go to post the CTA here, I no longer have to pin it or anything like that because it's paused. Nobody can push it up. So I don't have to do that. I don't have to pin it. But you could. I mean, there's no harm, but I just don't bother.
Okay.
So that's how the chat works. You can also, if you want to respond to somebody in the group chat and you want to address them specifically, you can do the little @ sign over their question, and it will do like a little tag. So if I want to say, hey, Blake, yes, this has, alerts or whatever, it
Mhm.
will tag Blake on there. But normally you would do that if you're responding to a message above, and you would just click on the @ So there are a few little things that this does with the chat that Zoom doesn't. It'll take a little getting used to, and by us as well as by the audience.
But everybody could see that, right, David? Like everybody
can
could see that you messaged me.
Yeah, everybody can see that. Now, if I wanted to
Okay.
private message you, I would hover over your message and click on the double speech bubble, and then that would go back to our private conversation.
Cool.
All right. Any questions about the chat?
Mm-mm. No,
One thing I'll mention is that when you do pin your message, you pin your welcome message. Don't click the X to remove it when you're ready to remove it. Click the pin, because the X only removes it for you. The pin unpins it for everybody.
Okay.
So if I just click the X right now and then we come back to the room tomorrow, that's still going to be sitting there.
Okay.
So you need to unpin it. But again, I'll send all this information to you. It will take some getting used to, but once you do, like, I'd say 2 webinars, it's not a big deal. All right. When we go to promo, we need to do a couple of things. The first thing is in stream. Oh, before we get to that, only the people that are attending this through WisePub are going to see all the things we just talked about. The group chat and the private chat, that's all the people that are seeing it through WisePub. The people that are seeing this on YouTube can't see WisePub. They only see the stream from StreamYard. So if we want to chat with them, in theory, we would have to open YouTube and chat with them in YouTube, but StreamYard does that for us. So if we look at StreamYard, more Inception. If we look at StreamYard on the bottom right of StreamYard, if we have this on the top right, assuming it says comments, which is their word for chat, you can see we're connected to YouTube up here. If I post a comment in here right now, or somebody else posts a comment, it'll appear up here. So we can chat with the YouTube people straight from here. So when we drop the CTA is not relevant. When we if we do a live trade and we want to put the trade in the chat, and that's important that everybody sees that. We have to do it both in WisePub and over here so the people in YouTube can see it. Now we don't do the promo to YouTube. We'll talk about that in a second. But just like in Zoom, we turn the promo off. We turn YouTube off when we do the promo. We have to do the same thing here. So we don't have to worry about dropping CTAs and stuff to this chat, but anything else that's really important information that you want to put out and you want to make sure the people on YouTube can see it, you want to post it in this chat also. And you also want to keep this where you can see it in case they post you questions. So if somebody posts a question in YouTube, you won't see it in WisePub and vice versa. So you need to keep an eye on this. And here's Nathan saying this is a test. And we can respond right here. Hi, Nate. Right. So it's not actually Nathan saying this is a test. It's somebody else, one of you doing it. But because we're all logged in to StreamYard as Nathan YouTube, it showed up as Nathan. I'm assuming Nathan's not on his personal YouTube at the moment, but you never know. All right. So that's the YouTube part of this. Now, when we go to promo.
So these what you just did in StreamYard is not going to be seen on WisePub.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. The comments here are just going to be,
even
though WisePub is connected, it really
Yep.
is only going to show on YouTube. Oh.
Yep. Someone's messing with my screen share. Okay. It's okay. All right. Yeah, you can see these two chats, the StreamYard one, which is YouTube, and the WisePub one are like none of this showed up over here and vice versa. Now, when it's time to do the promo, we need to disconnect YouTube. And the way we do that is we go up to the YouTube icon and we click remove and then remove again. We don't want to select delete on YouTube because that will mean YouTube will not have a recording of the editorial part. So we don't click that. We just click remove